Welcome in everyone to Bet, Win, Repeat. This is our daily show, Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern for all of you, just to get some insight on what's going on in the sports world, give you some of our best bets. I'll have some guests stopping by here shortly. I am Hannah Mears. You can follow me on Twitter at Mears Hannah. You can also follow me on Instagram by that same name. Tonight at midnight, I will have a new Beers with Mears episode dropping with Steelers long snapper Christian Coons. He was super interesting to talk to from all of the twists and turns that he's had to go through to make it in the NFL and what it's really like being a specialist in the NFL. He actually ended up having to, at one point, valet cars and be a luxury car driver. So there's a ton of really cool insight for people to see that you see a lot of these guys at the peak of their career when you know who they are, but they've gone through a lot to get to where they are. So very interested in that. We also talked a little bit of NBA, MLB sprinkled out there. So you're going to want to tune into that dropping at midnight. But also don't forget about our new Picks and Parlays app as well, available on all platforms. So make sure you download that. We've got great content coming your way, especially when it comes to MLB being in full swing, NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs. You don't want to miss a single second of any of that betting action that's going on. Also, don't forget about our friends over at Caesars Sportsbook. They're giving you a risk-free first bet up to $1,250, win or lose. You'll still get 1,000 reward credits and 1,000 tier credits. All that you've got to do is use my promo code MEARSFUL. So that's a little special treat for all of you. Also, don't forget to head over to our website, picksandparlays.net. If you use the promo code MLB, it saves you 20% off of the entire site. We have a ton of really great handicappers on there. So you want to make sure that you are getting your best bets. Also, this is no longer the platform for contests. We do more content, but if you join our Facebook page, it's a Picks and Parlays group page over on Facebook. We do weekly, daily, monthly contest always going on over on the Facebook page though. So here is a weekly update for a $100 prize. These people are still live in this contest. So if you see your name on here, congratulations, you're still live and you're still able to get that $100 prize. So again, if you're interested, all you've got to go do is join the Picks and Parlays group page over on Facebook. All right. I think I've talked enough by myself. Now it's time to bring in one of my favorites, Cam Ross, because there is a ton of NBA going on right now and a lot of different storylines already happening throughout the playoffs. Cam, one of the big things that just happened, and I've been curious to get your insight on this. Let's start with the Draymond Green stuff, right? So he ends up stepping on somebody, getting suspended. However, when you watch the video back, it does kind of look like his ankle was trapped. Like Sabonis had his ankle. So it looked like he was trying to kick to pull away, but it's always the second man that gets in trouble, right? So you have to be careful. He should have just said something to the ref, especially when it comes to being a component of your team in the most important time of the year in the playoffs. So I want a little bit of your 2 cents on this situation and how you think it played out and how it was handled.
Yeah, you are right though with you saying the second man, is always the one who gets in trouble. But Domantas Sabonis, he fell for no reason, kind of yanked at Clay, missed Clay, and then him and Draymond got tangled up. He does grab Draymond's foot. He does have Draymond's foot, but Draymond could have probably just lifted his foot up, and he did, but he also came back down with the foot, and that was probably the issue. If he would have just lifted his foot up and walked, it probably would have been okay. But Draymond, he stepped on him for a little bit of get back, but Domantas didn't. It wasn't all Draymond there. Draymond is Draymond.
Right.
He has the magnifying glass on him anyway for his rambunctious ways and his outbursts throughout the league anyway.
Right, which is why the extreme measure of him getting suspended probably happened. It was sort of based off of the series of events of his personality to get to this point, in my opinion. If it was anybody else, I think they would have maybe looked the other way, like give him a slap on the shoulder, maybe a technical or something, but a suspension?
Yeah, I think the NBA had to do something because it was Draymond, and as Lenny says right there in the chat, Draymond does Draymond things, but wasn't Adam Silver at the game? Wasn't he there?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
so for sure he has to do something. Like he's there. Like he's there, and they kept showing him when they were talking and going about everything, reviewing the replay, they kept showing him. So, he had to do something.
And
Or players
yeah,
will probably just start running him over.
and for more context, too, it was written, Fox News actually had an article saying the NBA announced that the suspension was, quote, based in part on Green's history of unsportsmanlike acts. So it wasn't just this one thing. It was sort of like this was the tipping point. It was, if you're going to keep doing this, we have to discipline you somehow, or else this is going to continue to get out of hand. So that's where that stands in the NBA. Guys are getting suspended, but the injury bug, there's a lot of teams hit by at the moment. Got a guy like Tyler Hero going down, and then you have Giannis still struggling with the back injury. Lowry also with the knee injury, so that affects the Bucks game tonight. What are your thoughts on the injury bug right now during playoffs?
Yeah, the injuries are crazy. Tyler Hero, he's out. His hand is broken. It seems like the earliest he could come back would be if the Heat were to make the finals. Kyle Lowry is out. Giannis is doubtful. I think I can't remember who it was. I saw somebody say that Tyler Hero being hurt is a bigger deal for the Heat than Giannis being hurt for the Bucks, because the Bucks have more pieces. They have a deeper team. I do think the Bucks are going to win tonight and even it up with or without Giannis. But Giannis going down was a big deal because they were down 8 to 10 points, and it just really took the air out of the arena and the air out of the team. And then in another series, Ja is hurt. And the Grizzlies are down 1-0.
And he's hurt pretty bad from my understanding.
Yeah, like because he was saying, he can't lift his arm, can't use his arm, can't move his hand. If Ja doesn't play tonight, even if Ja does play tonight, I would imagine he's not going to be 100%. The Grizzlies have an issue, but no, the injuries are for sure making their rounds quickly in the first weekend of the playoffs.
Yeah, I was one of those people when you said, I think someone said something about Tyler Hero. When making my bets today for the Bucks Heat game, I took the Bucks on the money line, and I made a comment saying, I think it's a bigger deal when you see guys like Hero and Lowry going down for the Heat, because they need a huge team effort to take down somebody like the Bucks, especially when Giannis is in there and healthy. And at some point, you would think in the series he's going to come back. But the Bucks are definitely deeper, and they also have played without Giannis a few times this year and have a winning record. No matter what it is, they're able to win without him. So I do agree. I think that was one of my best bets of the day. As for another thing that I've been looking closely at was LeBron James the other night, and his shooting was not where I think the Lakers need him to be right now, but I looked at him as a 25 plus sort of prop bet happening, because I do think he needs to step up for his team and be more hot of a shooter. And if he just had maybe 2 or 3 more field goals, he'd hit that mark. So I'm sort of waiting for him to have a bigger game in terms of scoring. What's your take on the Lakers right now? One of always the hottest topics in the NBA, despite how they're performing at any point of the year.
The Lakers are always a hot topic because of LeBron, and I get it. And that's just how it is. The Lakers, I don't think they're going to win a title. I personally don't think they're really going to compete for a title. They may get out of the first round, but I don't think the Lakers are as good as they are portrayed to be. They did, they came on hot. They came on down the stretch. One of the first team ever to be like a 12 seed at the All-Star break and then make the postseason, which is fantastic. They won game 1. Ja hurt or not in game 1, the Lakers were playing better. Anthony Davis is playing great. Austin Reeves is becoming an issue. Schroeder, D'Angelo, they're all playing really, really well. They might can get out of the first round, but I still don't know for sure if they get out of the first round, because I think Memphis can win tonight, and I do think Memphis is going to win a game in LA. And that will, that would swing the home court back. And I think the Lakers just have so much momentum and so much confidence, and they haven't had much adversity as of late. Where they get a little bit of adversity, as it's shown in times over the year, they kind of fold. And Memphis is a tough, gritty team, and I think they're going to give them hell in this series, regardless of the outcome.
Did Tim Earl just say Memphis by double digits? Was that something that I saw in there? Would you tell him he's crazy?
His his finals matchup isn't a terrible prediction.
What was his finals matchup
Just
there? I
down
didn't
there,
see it.
Nuggets and
Let me put that
Sixers.
back up. Nuggets. Okay, I could see that being a thing,
That
right?
could
You've
be a
got
thing. The
one of
Nuggets
the.
look fantastic. I
Mhm,
will say the
mhm.
Nuggets look fantastic, and the Nuggets, the Celtics, and the Sixers are really the only high seeds really taking care of business.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Seeing a lot of them just going 2-0, taking care of business, especially the Celtics against your Atlanta
they're
Hawks
not
down
my Atlanta
there.
Hawks. I'm just in Atlanta.
You
Yeah, they're not my Atlanta Hawks. I'm just in Atlanta. And Trey was
He's like,
actually
"Nope,
voted.
not claiming
Trey
it.
was actually
Absolutely
voted
not."
today by NBA players as the most overrated player in the league.
Who was?
Trey,
Yeah. I mean,
by
it
the
makes
players.
sense. Yeah. The yikes.
Yeah,
Yikes. The guys who play against him, for him, with him,
yeah,
that's a concerning thing.
yeah.
But
That's
okay, so
that
you're an
sucks.
Atlanta guy. Who's your NBA team then?
I don't really have an NBA team. Like,
You just enjoy
yeah,
all of it, so very unbiased.
yeah.
Okay.
I
I
don't really
like
have
that.
like an NBA team. So, but yeah.
What's your take right now on the Clip? What's your take on the Suns is what I want to know, because last night they ended up beating the Clippers. I had the Clippers at +8. That fell through, honestly. Frustrating, because for the majority of the game, it was a really good game, keeping it close. And I was certain that they were at least going to be able to keep it within that 8-point margin. However, didn't happen. The Suns found their rhythm a little bit towards the end, which is what I think everyone had been expecting for a while for things to happen. But what's your take on that team with KD? Can they really get it done, or are they still missing a few components? Because their bench has been bad.
Their bench is in Brooklyn. That's
Yes.
why their bench is so bad. Their bench is in
Yes.
Brooklyn. But I think the Suns last night, Katie and Devin Booker just decided they were going to do it. Those are two of the best scorers in the world.
Mhm.
And when one of them's going, it's hard enough. But when both of them are going, you just kind of have to hold on. But I think the Suns series and the Suns playoffs is going to be a lot more as it was in game one and early in the game last night. And I've been called a hater and, all this about what I'm fixing to say, but it's because of Chris Paul. Chris Paul is in the way. Chris Paul
Yep.
cannot guard anybody. And the Suns, as you go farther in the playoffs, you're gonna continuously play deeper, more talented teams. Like if the Warriors somehow come back and get through, they'll be an issue for the Suns. The Kings are going to be an issue for the Suns. The Suns can't play with the Nuggets.
The Kings are an issue for the Warriors right now.
I'm saying like, the Kings are for sure an issue. I'm
Mhm.
just saying like in the future, if the Suns, but the Clippers are going to continue to be an issue for the Suns. That's already been shown. Like Russell Westbrook is playing out of his mind. He's playing fantastic defense. He's guarding everybody, but it's like, and again, I hate it. I hate to just sound like a hater, like I've been called, but it's going to be Chris Paul. Chris Paul is notoriously not a winner, and he can't guard anybody, and he plays real bad hero ball, and he gets in the way. And sooner or later, he's going to get in the way because, as you said, there is no bench for Phoenix.
Yeah,
And Campaign isn't playing, but the rest of their bench is in Brooklyn.
Yeah, to compare the benches from game one, I looked ahead at all of the stats. The Suns scored 10 points off the bench compared to 34 for like the Clippers. 34 points off the Clippers bench compared to the 10 on the Suns. They're lucky that the Clippers aren't as talented as a team as maybe what they'll face down the line if they do get through. But when you have talent then coming off the bench with some of these other teams, that's where they're going to really struggle. So like Tim's saying down there, Suns are maybe slightly overrated in this matchup.
They have fantastic players, but they just don't have a lot of fantastic players. Like the Clippers, like Bones Highland, Norman Powell, even Terrence Mann in some instances could start for other teams. They have real deal guys who can come off the bench and give you 15, 18, even 20 if they get hot, they get going. The Suns don't have that.
Yeah, they don't. They truly don't. I know you're a big betting NBA guy this time of year as well, and everyone can head over to picksandparlays.net. Use promo code MLB. It'll save them 20% off the entire site right now. So I did want to let everyone know that because Cam is over on the site making picks. Is there any bit of a little sneak peek to some of your picks that you can give us that are over on the site right now?
I have lots of baseball and clearly the NBA as well. I don't really have anything. I'm probably not personally going to bet on the NBA tonight. Like, to be honest, I'm probably not gonna bet on the NBA at all tonight. The lines are, so, but I want to see who's playing, and I want to see if these higher seeds can bounce back like the Cavs did last night. The Cavs bounced back in a huge way. And
Absolutely.
but like, I don't really have any sneak peeks. I don't really have any extras or anything right now. Everything I have is on the sites and it's there. And come on in.
Yeah, everyone can go check it out for sure. Yeah, I know that a lot of what I've been having to do with my Yearsy Minutes is NBA based. It was a little hard to do something today, but I did end up putting something together where I found a little bit of value putting something together with a plus money parlay from a money line prop bet, put them together just so you get a little bit of value in what's going on. Because like you said, the lines are all over the place with how these games have been going. So not a ton of value all the time. Everyone give Cam Ross a round of applause. He always does fantastic on this show. This is Bet Win Repeat live Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Cam, always appreciate you stopping by and for all of your NBA insight there as well. Love picking your brain about it. So have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday.
You too. Good luck, everybody.
Again, this is Bet Win Repeat. I'm your host, Hannah Mears. You can follow me over on Twitter, on Instagram at Mears Hannah. And don't forget, Beers with Mears, the latest episode with Steelers long snapper Christian Kuntz drops tonight at midnight. We talk about so many different topics, from being a hometown kid in Pittsburgh, now playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's been a hometown kid through and through, but it took a lot for him to get here. He's been cut by 12 plus teams at different times. He was valeting cars. He was being a luxury car service driver at times before he actually got to a point where he's a little bit more comfortable and a little bit safer with the Steelers as at the moment. However, things can always change in the NFL. That business is no joke. So it's a really interesting interview and just cool to hear from him. Also, if you love any Pittsburghese, Christian Kuntz is your guy. He is probably the thickest Pittsburgh accent in a while that I've interviewed. So it's always great to go and see what he has going on. But tune into Beers with Mears tonight at midnight, everyone. Now it's time to bring in another one of my favorites here over on Picks and Parlays, Mr. Sean Higgs. He is from Midday Money, so you can see him on that show as well. But he's always giving some great picks. Sean, I was just talking a lot about the NBA. I know you were hearing, we were talking a lot about with Cam Ross. So was there anything that you wanted to comment on from any of those discussions based off of injuries or suspensions or storylines? What are some of the most interesting things to you about the NBA playoffs this year?
But where to start? So the injury, if you're out now, and I said in my show, if you're out now, you're injured. This isn't load management nonsense and stuff like that. You're out. It's definitely an issue for today and going forward. Like, the guy's definitely not 100%. Now, we joke like, oh, you're not 100% all the time. During the regular season, these guys, their load management stuff, they're pretty much babies. I mean, it is what it is. Now, I'm worried. If you're a Memphis fan or a Bucks fan, as deep, and he talked about, we'll start on the Bucks, much deeper team than Miami. Shouldn't have a problem. As he said, I would agree too. Tyler Herro being out, a lot worse off Miami is than Giannis being out there.
I mean, he's a 20-plus point scorer from them on the perimeter. There goes
exactly
the points from there.
That's a team that needs every bit of it. That's just a weird kind of team where the Bucks a lot more deeper. This again, he's supposed to be back maybe the next game. You don't know. All right. I mean, it's still a lingering issue, which will bring us into, let's jump into the Suns real fast here. And that's a team you're led by two guys. Durant, who's a jump away from rolling an ankle or whatever the heck he does all season long to get hurt. Booker was hurt to start a year. Paul, I mean, that's a team. Do you really want to rely on that team for two guys to play 40-plus minutes a game? Who one's in, let's be honest, Durant is injury prone at this stage of his career. He's an injury prone kind of guy. Booker's young, yeah, but he was hurt the first half of the season. I mean, what are you getting out of that kind of team? Not loving that squad there. Who else we missing? Oh, John Morant. Against a team in the Lakers who I totally do not like, but the other team's best player and a league top 5 player is out and could be out. Again, he's hurt. He's not going to be the same guy in the series, even though they spread these games out. I lean to the Lakers in that series. I mean, I bet the Lakers the other day had to pick them in this series, in this spot. They're -1 now because of the injury.
Yeah, if you're going to put the Lakers somewhere, this is probably where
I think this is a spot for him, and I'm not a Laker lover, but this spot, it's, Anthony Davis, I think, it's good as LeBron, and he still has his games, and the league is built for him right now because you play every 2 or 3 days. It's perfect for old man time. Older players, this is this is when it really doesn't affect them when you get 3 days off between games or 2 days.
Right.
It works out well. Now, I think coming up this weekend, they play an early game and a late game or something like that. So that might be, but again, that's not right now. I don't have to worry about it. And you have Green out. Again, that as you mentioned, it was based on his history of doing shady crap on the court. And that, let's bet, he's like, well, I was coming down, I was pulling my foot away. If you're pulling your foot away, you're going to fall backwards. You clearly jumped on the dude. And I'll go back a couple years when he kicked Steven Adams in the nuts. He should have been suspended for that game. And Durant doesn't leave OKC, and he's winning championship there. I mean, I said, yeah, Golden State, they're great. You kicked him in the sack. He should have been suspended. They would have never won that year. They lost the year to basically Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving, and and you won because Durant drills a shot. I mean, again, I'm a Golden State hater. I make fun of Steph Curry. Like there's, Detlef Schrempf's a better 3-point shooter. Is that like he's fine, but that team, Clay is not the same. And you've heard me say this before about a lot of players. You get injured. I hate seeing guys get injured and never being peak what they were. He's never coming back. Right. Tonight, maybe tonight he has a great game. It's a home opener for the playoffs. Rah, rah. I'm not buying the Warriors, especially now. Green is, again, out today. He comes back the next game.
Well, and they have.
How are you not just tormenting that guy? You just torment that guy to do something stupid. He'll do something stupid and get ejected again. Or he's going to run into the stands.
They've got to dig themselves out of a hole right now. They're down 2 games.
Down 0-2, and people are going to bet a team that's won, 10 games on the road all season to come in and have to go on the road and win. And the Kings had zero respect all season. No respect for Sacramento. And, yeah, they're a high-scoring team. Their last 10 games have been 7 or 8 defensive battles. Like, they can kind of clamp it down a little bit and play a little defense when they have to, which I think they're going to do on the road here. You're down 0-2, any team for that matter, down in the playoffs, whether it's going to be in hockey in another day or two. Must win. Game 3 is a must-win game. It's an under kind of game for me. Again, NBA, I just can't stand it. Then you got guys going into luxury boxers and owners and yelling at fans. How about you retire? What is like? If you can't take heckling, quit. Don't play anymore. The league should say, you know what? No, you're not getting paid anymore. Goodbye. I'll see you in court. If we have to pay you down the road, we'll pay you down the road. You can't play in this league. These fans, what does a box cost nowadays to go to those things? And you're gonna have a guy come in there, your heckler was good. Get the hell out of here, you big baby. Don't come in here. I got diapers and tissues for you. I mean, seriously, get out of here with that nonsense.
So Lenny's saying Kings tomorrow money line at plus 185.
I don't know about that because I could see Golden State coming out
at
fast.
Least one on them, right?
Even at the 5, I don't know. That's a game I'm not under. Do I lean Kings? Yes, because they're a disrespected club, but backs against the walls. You got a championship team, championship pedigree, rings, and fans. That's a spot where Golden State first half, first quarter. I expect them to come out of the gate.
Now we've been talking a ton of NBA. We even have people saying take the Rays on the run line. All these things. They want to transition into MLB. This is what the people want. So we're going to do that here.
That's what I like to see. I got a Wolves Ribby prop today, plus $2.
There you go. I have something to share with you that I was figuring out last night. So I do on-camera reporting for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Obviously, no denying the fact that the Pirates have struggled in recency. But they are winning right now, a winning record. Yes. This is very exciting over here in Pittsburgh. This is what the vibes are. Everybody's excited about the Pirates, but 19 teams have a worse record than the Pirates right now. The Pirates are 11-7, and they have found their rhythm. Last night in the Rockies down 3-0 and came back. How are you feeling about my guys in black and gold this year?
Like today's a spot where you kind of want, I was saying to my show, it's like, I can't lay 125 with the Pirates. Mm-hmm. And I should, because it's like, well, the Pirates are bad. No way they should be favored here. Colorado's Gomber's terrible. This is why I love baseball, Anna, and why early in the season, now dogs aren't all over the place winning, but in this case, the Pirates are 11-7, and they've been dogs in all these games probably, although against the Rockies, they are favored here. You can make money in baseball early with teams like this. Mm-hmm. Hello, Pirates. Hello, people are down on Arizona. This is when you bet kind of stuff like this, because everyone's got a shot and teams are kind of struggling out of gate. You just kind of, the cream rises top, right? You put a cake in the oven, it rises up. The first minute you look at it like, what the heck's going on here? It's been 8 minutes. No, it's got to stay in there. It's 23 minutes. It'll cook, it'll rise. So here you're in a spot, and the Cruz injury obviously is a big, because that guy is supposed to be a big stud for them, and that hurts. You're in down. I mean, how are you really that pumped up, or you're just excited for a fast start, which is nice, but long term. I mean, this season at least.
Here's what I think everybody from local Pittsburgh media to Pittsburgh fans and everything like that. Obviously, I'm a little more biased just in the fact of when you work for a team and they're winning, it's a lot more fun.
Yes.
But
you have good young talent. You got some good bats.
Yeah. And there's a lot of young guys, like seeing Bay and Joe and Choi and all these guys making plays. Sawinski finally found his bat a little bit. Even if you're doing it in Coors Stadium, you're still doing it somewhere.
Brian Hayes was supposed to be a big stud for them like 2 years ago. So
I mean, even McCutchen, when he has needed to, he's still been that guy. I think this season, why everyone's still high on the Pirates, no matter what sort of happens, unless they really tank. Getting to 500 was sort of the goal at this point, right? This is a team that's really had to rebuild and look forward and take slow steps forward.
Yes.
People were doubting they could even get to 500. And at this point, this looks like a team that could go over that. But if they get to that, I don't think anyone will be too upset this year. Just because of
the 500 goal is a huge goal to win 80 games with this team. You get into the 70 win mark, I'd be happy because the pitching, you have better younger hitters than pitchers on this team. So like any team, you got to find pitching and guys to break out. You're in a division with the Reds, who I think are bad. I think, and I'm high on the Cubs this year.
They play next in their series.
I think the Brewers are going to be sellers. I think that team, Burns is hurt again. Something happened to him, and he kind of faded down the stretch last year. Maybe he was injured and still injured. Who's the other kid? Woodruff is hurt for them as well. Their other pitcher. So now you're relying on Peralta and Lauer. I think this is going to be a sell team. So you guys have the Reds. You got a sell team, I think, in the Brewers. You have a Cardinal team. I'm not totally in love with pitching-wise. Again, no pitchers. And the Cubs, as much as I'm behind the Cubs, it's still the Cubs. These guys win every 100 years. So they could, wet the bed themselves. I think that this 500 season, that's a fan. You're a fan. You're a diehard. Like, we're going to be good this year. Let's 70s. And you can laugh at they're a dozen games under. That is way better than what they should be.
Yeah. Tim in the comments saying, need the Pirates to play well so Pittsburgh can forget about the Pens. Relax. But there was a really funny tweet last night talking about, I believe, is it Toronto's GM that has been like rumored to be maybe the Pittsburgh be the next spot or something. And it said the lines, and it was like Raquel, Crosby, Gensel, someone that was like guy, like third and fourth line. They were like, what's he writing down? It's because the Penguins have so many spots to fill right now, but they've got some pieces to build around at least.
Yeah, hockey, again, that's a spot where teams kind of come out of nowhere. I mean, we saw like it's not that it's like a relief pitcher. Like everybody has like a breakout relief pitcher team, but the hockey, I think you could, a year out, things change and all of a sudden you get a good influx and, I don't know. I'm not high on or not high. It's not that I'm really locked into Penguin hockey right now. That's not a
management behind the scenes going on right now with that organization, and they need to figure it out. I don't know if Lemieux's happy. I've seen rumors about that. So there's a lot going on there. That's more than just getting the right guys in. I think that whole structure is needing to be fill in the cracks a little bit. But getting back to a little bit of baseball here for you. I know you're over on the website as well, and I keep reminding everybody to head over to picksandparlays.net. If they use that promo code MLB, they get 20% off the entire site, which you can't beat. What are some of the things that you're leaning toward today? I know you were saying you had some prop bets for the MLB. Anything that you want to tease over on the site?
Yes. I mean, I could give some prop bets out. We got a bunch of prop bets. I have a bunch of I'm seeing what game's coming up next year because I had the Walls. Someone posted the Walls that he's first inning, guy on third base. He's coming up third base. I'm like, nice. I should cash it. A balk. He scores one on a balk. He doesn't get a shot. I was like, hey, this is the way my first show back in the week's going to go. I get a balk. I can't get out of a run. Let's see real fast. I want to go down and see what game is still, I guess, the Braves. So I got a bunch of Brave Ruby props today. Olsen, Riley, Murphy, Albies. That's like your 3, 4, 5 kind of 6 kind of guys. 155, 165, 185, 195. But also I grabbed Grissom and Hiller down at the bottom, 240, 290s. Much like we saw in this game here in the Tampa game. If I think a guy's going to get hit, I like to look middle of the lineup, past a lot of times your judges and your any kind of guy you want to throw out there is going to be like a 110. I'm not looking to who wants to come in and see a minus 100 or 110. That's not what I give out. That's not a fun. That's not. Oh, he knows what he's talking about. That's you could wake up tomorrow and be like, you know what? I'm going to take who's ever hitting cleanup to score Ribby at plus 105. That's not a bet or a handicap. I try to why I want to take him because I think the guy's gonna get hit and I'm going to take a lineup to run the lines across. So yeah, I put a lot of Ribby props out And my thinking behind it is deeper in the lineup. It's not just your 2, 3, 4 guys scoring the runs. So I love my Ruby props. And I gotta say, I've been looking at strikeout props because last year or 2 years ago, I first started, people love the strikeout props. I think they're a little tougher this year. I see a lot of the bigger pitchers not hitting those kind of totals lately, even though strikeouts are up all over the place. But you have such short kind of starts now with the pitch clock guys in and out. What is this? Make car payments. All right, Lenny with the kiss of death. So I got my one win. I'll be 3 and 12 today in my Ruby props. Thanks, Lenny, for throwing that out there.
Yeah, well, I was just doing beers with beers today and was talking about win or lose, we booze. And I was like, listen, since March 29th, I was doing so great. And now I'm 45% since March 29th. It's just been struggle bus this past couple of weeks. So I need some good things to happen.
But you got to take
that. All the positivity.
Here's the thing, Hannah. People now, you think you're going to hit 60% and win every single bet. And I was listening to a show and they had a commercial. I was like, hey, make sure you bet socially with your friends. No, that's a recipe for disaster, betting socially with your friends. You don't drink. You're not going to Buffalo Wild Wings and drink it. Let's make some bets today. That's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing because your $10 bet turned into a $150 bet because you're being stupid. No, you don't bet socially. That's
smart. Bet smart with Sean Higgs, ladies and gentlemen, over on PicksandParlays.net, right?
Be happy with a day's pay. You're working 98% of people have regular jobs and they think they're going to get rich out of this.
Yeah.
You're not going to. It doesn't happen. It's a grind. Trust me, I know.
What do you think about that one? Speaking of a grind, how the NBA season is a grind, talking about the NBA should reduce some games by about 20. This will reduce the salaries to make those who hate on players for missing games, reduce the load of players essentially who need load management. Do you think decreasing?
Never happen. Too much money involved. Too much money. They'll never reduce it.
TV
These morons want to add a mid-season tournament, Hannah. They want to add, what the hell is that? These guys, a mid-season, for what? They don't care about the regular season. They're going to care about some mid-season nonsense?
Exactly. They barely care about all-stars. They barely care about anything anymore. It's just
I'm all for contraction. I mean, they want 20 games. Yeah. Bring it down to 50. Who cares? Who watches it? I mean, your best players don't play.
Right.
The NBA should find, but how do you find the guys that go, well, I'm hurt? How do you know you, sir? All right. And I said this before I think I was doing a show with Ross Benjamin and just show. I was like, if guys sit down on a Thursday night game, incoming rant. If they're going to sit out, no problem. You're out for 3 days. If you miss a prime TV game, you got to be injured for a week or a 3-game spell, and you got to significantly miss amount of time if you're going to miss that game. You can't just come and go, I'm out for a game. It's a back-to-back. I'm not playing. Nah, it doesn't work that way. Does not work that way. You're going to miss that back-to-back. You're out for the next the 2 games after that. So or something. They have to. It just makes no sense to me. It's a terrible product.
Yeah.
I mean, I've joked since before you. How old are you? 22? You're like a.
No, I'm 26.
2, please. Yeah. So I've been betting before you were born. You're 26. I've been betting. I'm gonna be. How old am I? I'm gonna be 49. So I've been basically betting 30 years of my entire life. More 30, 35. Since I was 15 years old. NBA has always been a joke. The joke was always there's always a run in the NBA. You're watching it on TV. It's 60-32. Next thing you know, it's third quarter. It's 79-76. What the heck happened here? The team scores 4 points. It's a terrible product. It's gotten worse and worse and worse. And even baseball. I need less teams. I need more competitive teams. I don't want to say I want to contract your Pirates, but really contract your Pirates.
Maybe
the Tampa, the Florida teams
with caps. But that's where you look at making salary caps, right?
Yes, but if you're, there's caps, but also when a team doesn't spend money too. Where's the bottom threshold?
Yeah, agreed. There needs to be.
Where's the fan base?
You want a maximum, you need a minimum. Yeah.
I went to Pittsburgh, great stadium.
Mm-hmm.
But let's be honest, there is not enough pitching in Major League Baseball. Mm-hmm. I want to see 10 teams that get rid of baseball. It's just everything is money. Right, they need more team. They're on expand to Vegas and Austin or something. What are you doing, team in Memphis? Stop the expansion. Yeah. NFL, we're gonna player safety. Let's add extra Thursday night games and more season games.
Which is
what are we talking about?
A whole topic for another day.
But we're talking about contracting NBA games and stuff. It's just no, they'll never get rid of things because it's a union. There's jobs. There's minor league jobs. There's a G League.
Too much money invested, too many TV.
And I looked. You're mentioning your beers or mirrors with I forgot the guy's name, the long snapper.
Yep.
So I looked at him you said he was doing valet. I'm like, this guy's working. I had to go look how big he was, but he's like my size. He's like a 6'1",
Yeah.
260. So I'm like, all right, he can fit in a valet. Because I'm thinking to myself,
Yeah.
I get in car, I get my wife's car, I get in, I hit my head. I'm like the seat. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
she's
got to
a
do
little-
the whole adjusting
I'm
thing.
like, what the heck? So I'm thinking
That's
NFL guys
good.
getting in there at 6'5", but centers are usually a little shorter anyway. They're a little more.
Yeah. He's got
compact.
he's a little shorter, long snapper,
Yeah.
He's built like a little bit of a linebacker at times, but
Yeah.
he's trying to pack on weight, he said, this offseason. But
I'll
everyone
come visit
don't
him. It'll
forget-
be easy. We'll back on weight together.
Yeah, there you
I'll
go.
plump him up like a little Thanksgiving turkey. It'll be fine.
That'll be our next bet. How much can we gain? Everyone remember to like, share, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. We're live with Bet Win Repeat Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you download the new Picks and Parlays app so you don't miss any of our content. And also don't forget to head over to picksandparlays.net. Use that promo code MLB. It's going to save you 20% off the entire site. Until next time, I'm Hannah Mears. That's Sean Higgs. And this was Bet Win Repeat. Thanks for tuning in.